Me being 100% honest with all of you, do I think this new quarterback that Auburn just got, that Hugh Freeze just landed in, is going to take him to another level and he's a great pickup? No, I do not. I know this is a late upload and a late video, but we have an ongoing situation that must be talked about. And I need to warn you up front, everybody stay calm, but it's happening. Auburn and Hugh Freeze has found their new quarterback. If you are an Auburn fan, this is big, and I cannot stress this enough, this is big news. Why is it big news? Why am I hyping it up? Well, it's relatively simple. In 2023, you can't win without a quarterback. Plain and simple. Is Auburn a crap show? Yes. Is it going to take them probably longer than a year to rebuild? Yes. Are there a lot of other positions you need to fix and fill? Yes. But the most important one is quarterback. Quarterback. And Hugh Freeze even stated this a couple months ago that they need a new quarterback and they're looking for one in the portal and, well, maybe they found their guy. I don't know why I'm saying maybe they found their guy. They have found their guy. Whoa. Hold on. I know what some of you may be sitting there saying. Well, Matt, what about Robbie Ashford, the guy who started last year, and he's the current starter right now? What about him? That is a great question because Robbie Ashford, you better believe this, he's not going down without a fight. We're going to talk all about that in tonight's video, but also guess what? ESPN just released their new rankings post-spring, and you're not going to believe where they got Alabama. But not only that, you're not going to believe who they got in the top 4. ESPN's rankings, they are controversial, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'll just say this. I don't know whether you guys agree with them or not. That's what you can let me know on the comment section of this video, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I think they're horrendous. The rankings flat out suck, but also we got to talk about a situation that's going on at Florida and Tennessee. Well, not really a situation, but we're going to talk about Tennessee's quarterback and a player that just came into Florida. If you're overwhelmed by the intro, trust me, I am too, because we got like 4 or 5 different topics we're going to speak on in this late night upload. You already know the intro. If you like college football content, consider joining our community. If you're already joined, appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that is already subscribed. All right, Matt, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, I say we start on with this Florida news, and it's not the biggest news in the world, but I did want to share it with y'all. So, former Michigan safety R.J. Moten, who lost his starting spot at Michigan, at least according to the sources, he winds up transferring to Florida. Now, here's my question. Why would you go to Florida? And I know my Florida fans aren't going to like that, but I'm asking a genuine question. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Because it seems like this Florida football program is a dumpster fire, but at the same time, they're getting all these crazy recruits in. I don't know, it's just weird to me, because Florida, it's like they can't make up their mind. Okay, are we going to be bad or are we going to be good? What are we going to do? Regardless of all that, big pickup for Florida. Moving along here to our second topic, going up the road to Knoxville, Tennessee, check what's going out or what's being said about Joe Milton, their quarterback. It's being stated that several, not just one, several NFL scouts reportedly believe Anthony Richardson paved the way for Joe Milton to potentially be a high selection in next year's NFL draft. Richardson, currently listed at 6'4", 244. Milton, listed at 6'5", 243. Similar body builds. And also, as you can see right here, I mean, this is common sense if you watch Joe Milton. And now that I think about it, Joe Milton is very similar to Anthony Richardson. I wouldn't label Joe Milton as an athletic freak and superhuman because that's what Anthony Richardson is, but it's not like he's not mobile back there. He's athletic enough. It says right here Milton is an athletic freak, but I strongly disagree with that. No. And the main reason I disagree with that is because I do not throw that phrase around lightly. The only people I call athletic freaks are people like LeBron James, Zion Williamson, John Morant, or Anthony Richardson. But the one comparison that is spot on and it is true is both of them have a rocket launcher for an arm. Check out this comment though. Joe Milton is also in his 6th year of college and is 4 years older than Richardson. LOL. Yeah, that is a fair point that a lot of people are forgetting here. Anthony Richardson, he is still a young kid. He's straight up a kid. Joe Milton's a full-on grown man. So I don't know, man. Even if Milton has a great year or just a good year next year for Tennessee, I don't see him being a top 5 NFL draft pick. I really don't. I just don't really see the NFL potential there with Joe Milton. I always saw with Anthony Richardson, but with Milton, not so much. Don't really have too much more to say about that. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. Do you think Milton's up there with Anthony Richardson potential-wise, or do you think it's not even close? But moving along here into our third topic before we get into the main topic of the main encore, ESPN just released their new rankings post-spring practice. And, yeah, they are fascinating. I'm just going to say that before I lose my cool. They're fascinating. We'll work our way up here. 25 through 15, I'm looking at it. It's my first time seeing it, by the way. I haven't even looked at really 10 through 25. Nothing catches my eye whatsoever. I think that's fair. I mean, seriously, who's going to argue with 15 through 25. There's nothing to argue about, at least in my opinion. Moving along here, 10 through 14, here's where things get a little more interesting. At 14, we got Utah. We'll talk about that in just a second. 13, we got Notre Dame. I call them that sometimes, just joking around. It's Notre Dame. 12, Washington. 11, Tennessee. I don't agree with that. I'll speak on that in a second as well. Number 10, Texas. The only one I agree with, 14 through 10, is Notre Dame. They got this spot on, which is rare, by the way. What is my golden rule at Notre Dame? Number 1, they should be banned from the college football playoff. Number 2, they should never. I don't care if they're 15-0. I don't care if they're 22-0. They should never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, be ranked inside the top 10. Never. If you want to put them at number 11, I'm cool with it, but they should never be allowed back inside the top 10. So putting them at 13 is kind of satisfying because every single year in the preseason, we always see them get overhyped and put into the top 10 or top 5. So that one's good. At number 11, I don't like Tennessee at number 11. They're in my top 10 easily. And then last but not least, we got big old bad NIL Texas with Quinn Ewers and Steve Sarkisian. I don't really have a problem with that. You know what? The more I think about it, 10 suits Texas pretty well. I kind of agree with that. Not bad whatsoever. I would have Tennessee above Texas, but Texas at 10, it's not too bad. But here's where things start to get interesting, and it's what we all care about, the top 10. At number 9, you got Clemson. I can rock with that. Number 8, you got Penn State. I can also get down with that. At number 7, you got LSU. Also, A-OK. But at number 6, we got Alabama. Yeah, that's pretty low. And y'all know nobody has criticized Alabama more than me myself, especially after the spring game. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Alabama. We're talking about Nick Saban. I'll speak on that in just a second. I will tell you my top 5. Going on up the list here, guess what? Ohio State isn't in the top 4 either. They're at number 5. So you know what that means? At number 4, they got USC. Laughable. Number 3, though, they got Florida State. Florida State? What? Number 2, Michigan. And number 1, Georgia. The last good thing I'm going to say about this list on ESPN is, hey, you finally got number 1 right, Georgia. And it's not even particularly close. Georgia is the number 1 team in the country. And the gap from them at number 2, whoever you put at number 2, whether that be Michigan, Florida State in this case scenario, Alabama, whoever, it's not even close. The gap from Georgia and the second best team in the country, not close. And I can't emphasize that enough. Here's what I don't agree with. USC and Florida State over Ohio State and Alabama. What is that logic? Florida State at number 3? Where did that come from? Okay, they got Jordan Travis coming back. But this guy ain't no Caleb Williams. This guy ain't no Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And Florida State as a team, they're not no top 3 team. They're not a national contender. I wouldn't just be shocked if Florida State won the title next year. That's not going to happen. I would be shocked if they even made the playoffs. I wouldn't even have to speak on it too much. If you watch college football, you know Florida State shouldn't be at 3. And USC at number 4, I arguably have a bigger problem with this just because USC's defense is flat out piss poor terrible. There is no excuse for USC to be ranked higher than Utah after what happened last year. No excuse. You guys know I gave Ohio State a hard time last year. I called them soft time after time after time. But USC is the definition of charm and soft. There is no excuse in the world for USC to be ranked over Ohio State and Bama. None. And it's the same thing for Florida State. I don't care how bad Alabama looked in the spring game or Ohio State. Florida State, USC shouldn't be ranked ahead of Alabama and Ohio State. Period. The end. In a conversation. I'll go as far as saying this. USC shouldn't even be ranked ahead of Tennessee. And I'm having a hard time saying that USC should be ranked ahead of Penn State as well. But all of that's a different conversation for a different day. You guys know I love talking about these rankings with y'all. Let me know in the comment section. We'll talk about this tomorrow. Just drop your thoughts. I could go on a complete tangent and rampage on these rankings for the next 15 minutes. We can't do that. We got to get a move on to the main topic of the main encore. The main reason you clicked onto this video. We got to talk about what's going on in Auburn. Man, oh man, what is going on with Hugh Freeze and Auburn? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. They got a new quarterback. And I got to be honest, I kind of feel bad for Robbie Ashford because he seems like a great kid. And meanwhile, the past couple of months, he's working hard. His entire Auburn coaching staff's going after a new quarterback. They're kind of telling him straight up to his face, hey kid, you're not good enough. That has got to be one of the weirdest positions to be in, and that's also why I see these quarterbacks enter the portal, because they know their coaching staff is going behind their back and recruiting other guys. It's a sucky situation to be in. If you're not an outstanding A+ great quarterback, your coaching staff, your head coach, more times than not, they're looking at other guys, which straight up sucks for the kids because coaches lie to them. They'll tell them to their face, hey, you're our starting quarterback, you're our guy, and next thing you know, by tomorrow, they get a new guy in the portal. That is the downside, one of the big negatives to the portal, for the kids at least. With that being said, I don't really know a way to ease into this. Actually, I kind of do. Remember yesterday's video? If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We talked about the chaos going on at Michigan State. I'll try to sum it up to you, long story short, if you didn't watch that video, and if you don't, want to check it out. One of Michigan State's top wide receivers, Keon Coleman, he enters the transfer portal. So what happens next? His quarterback's sitting there going, well, dang, I have nobody to throw the ball to. So now I'm going to enter the portal, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Michigan State is a complete dumpster fire in the Big Ten, but that is a different video for a different day as well. And like I said, when I say it's a different video for a different day, it means I don't want to talk about it too long because I could spend 8 minutes talking about it. There's so much crap going on in college football, it can get overwhelming. Anyways, locking back in here with Auburn. Michigan State's quarterback, he enters the portal. That was the latest on that. And well, what do you know? News comes out today. According to the sources, Peyton Thorne, he's heading to Auburn. Which, when I first saw, I dang near spit my food out of my mouth because I was like, wait, what? He's going to Auburn? I thought Casey Thompson was going to Auburn. Remember, if you've been keeping up with the videos, you would know I showed you this picture where Casey Thompson, he's been posting pictures on his Instagram story where he's in Alabama. He's visiting Auburn. From everybody in Auburn, they've been telling me, yeah, the meetings with Casey Thompson, they're going good. He loves the campus, all that nice stuff. To make things even sweeter, it just feels like Casey Thompson is the perfect Hugh Freeze quarterback. Kind of a risky passer, but also athletic. Reminds me a lot of Chad Kelly and Bo Wallace. For those of you who don't know, Chad Kelly, Bo Wallace, they were quarterbacks at Ole Miss when Hugh Freeze beat Alabama back-to-back. So with Casey Thompson, those were the vibes I got from him. I was like, man, he goes to Auburn, you better watch out in the SEC. But now, it looks like, I guess, that's not going to happen because Peyton Thorne's heading to Auburn. Here's the interesting part, at least for me, and here's my perspective. I understand the sources have came out and pretty much confirmed this, but I still have a hard time believing it because it doesn't seem like a great fit. It really doesn't. Out of the two quarterbacks, if I'm Hugh Freeze, I had to pick between Casey Thompson and Peyton Thorne. I'm taking Casey Thompson. I'm going to show you the numbers so you can get a perspective. This guy, Peyton Thorne, last year for Michigan State wasn't very good. 2,600 passing yards, 56 in the country, 19 touchdowns, 50th in the country, 11 INTs, that's concerning, 150th in the country, total QBR 69.8, which is above decent, that's 35. And now I will show you Casey Thompson numbers, so I guess you can compare them if you want to. Casey Thompson, 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 10 INTs, QBR 64.5. So when you compare their numbers, pretty similar stats. At this point in time, it's just like, okay, who do you want? Who do you like more, Casey Thompson or Peyton Thorne? And according to the sources, this isn't according to me, this is according to the sources, Auburn has found their guy, and that's Peyton Thorne. Me being 100% honest with all of you, do I think this new quarterback that Auburn just got, that Hugh Freeze just landed in, is going to take him to another level and he's a great pickup? No, I do not. I think Peyton Thorne can be a good quarterback, although he was pretty much average last year. I think he can be good, but overall, if I got to pick between these two guys, I'm taking Casey Thompson in a heartbeat. I just love everything about him way more. And also, just the Auburn stereotypical quarterback, Casey Thompson, he just fits the mold. When you think of an Auburn quarterback, you think of a guy who has a pretty decent arm but can also scramble. That's Casey Thompson. Peyton Thorne, what's the best way to say this? He doesn't seem Auburnish. I'm not saying it can't work, but I don't think it'll work as well as Casey Thompson. I'm sure we'll get some updates on this any day now, probably any hour now. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Let me know your thoughts down below. But